my name is Madeline, and welcome to this Yin yoga class for Heartbreak. So, if you're going through it, I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. Sometimes you just want to kind of lay on the floor. So, that's going to be the vibe of this class. So, hopefully, it'll help ease any pain, just give you some time for yourself. So let's ground into the space with 3 deep breaths. And before that, if you like to use props, you can grab a blanket, a pillow, a couple blocks. But if you don't have that, it's all good. You don't need them. So let's get into our breath. You can exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Taking one big inhale through the nose, holding at the top for a second, and then a big sigh out, letting it all go. And we'll do a tiny bit of movement, starting with some seated cat-cows. You can bring the hands to the knees. And as you inhale, begin to arch the spine forward, looking up towards the sky. And then round the back as you exhale. And you can continue like this, or take any kind of fluid movement that feels good in the body. So maybe some circles. Just listening intuitively to whatever your body is needing. Or you don't have to move at all, it's up to you. And returning back to center whenever you're ready. And we'll come forward onto our hands and knees to come to our first yin pose, which is a child's pose. So I'm going to recommend going for a closed leg child's pose here. So bringing the knees together and starting to drop the forehead down to the mat and let those hands kind of come behind you. You can go for a wide leg child's pose if you prefer that. Maybe if you go for that, you can place a pillow underneath the body. It's up to you, but just laying here, kind of going inward and breathing deeply. And just notice how your heart is feeling, how the body is feeling. Notice without any judgment. Just observe. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And really slowly coming out of the pose, pressing back up onto your hands. And come forward onto the hands and knees. And from here, you can start to take some cat-cows if you like. Take any kind of movement that your body is needing. So again, maybe going for some circles. And then coming back to stillness, we'll begin to make our way down onto our bellies. So bring the hands in front of your forehead, stacking on top of each other. Just let the forehead rest on those hands. And we're going to move into a half frog pose. So you can start to slide the right knee up in line with that right hip. So you're kind of making a right angle with the right leg. This would be a great place to use a blanket if you have one to place under the knee, just for some extra padding. Just letting yourself melt into the earth here. And try to let go of any tension you're holding on to, any tightness. And remembering to breathe deeply. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. And on your last breath, begin to slide that right knee, right leg back in line with the left. And once you're here, you can wiggle the hips out a little bit or take some windshield wipers from side to side. And we're going to stay down on our belly. And then move into half frog on the other side. So this time sliding the left leg, the left knee up in line with that left hip. I'm trying to make a right angle with the left leg. Again, option to place a blanket underneath that knee if that feels good. And again, resting here. And these hip openers can kind of bring about a lot of emotions. We tend to store a lot of emotions in the hips. So just try to be present with what's arising, if anything's arising. And again, try not to judge yourself or your thoughts. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. And again, on that last breath, begin to slide the left leg back in line with the right. And maybe wiggle out those hips or take some windshield wipers from side to side. And then taking your time, no rush at all. Beginning to press back up onto those hands and knees, taking any kind of movement here that feels good. And then we'll press back to come into a seated position with the legs out long. And we're going to keep our feet planted on the mat here, the knees really bent for our caterpillar pose today. Of course, if you prefer to take one with the legs out long for more hamstring opening, you can totally do that as well. And whenever you're ready, reach the arms up to the ceiling and start to fold forward over those knees. Let that head just drop in between the knees. Let the arms really just drape and rest easy here. Letting yourself sink into the pose. And maybe try to soften and let the head drop even more with each breath. here, try to kind of stop any negative thinking towards yourself. Again, just observing. And taking a few more breaths here. And slowly starting to roll up, really taking your time, no rush. You can place the hands behind you and again go for those windshield wipers, rocking the knees from side to side if that feels good. And then coming back to center, and we'll return back to that hands and knees position for our melting heart pose. So trying to keep the knees and the hips in one line. Start to walk the hands towards the top of the mat, and then let the forehead drape down to the mat if it reaches there, letting the chest go downwards. Maybe you want to grip the top of the mat with your fingertips for an even deeper shoulder opening. And if you feel any pain, any tingling in the arms, you can always spread the arms a bit wider across the mat. So a really nice shoulder opener here. We do tend to hold a lot of tension, a lot of emotions in the shoulders as well, the upper body. So trying to let it all go here. And remembering that deep breath. This can be an intense pose to hold sometimes. So just trying to focus the attention on the breath. And take a couple more breaths in melting heart. And on that last breath, beginning to slowly, staying low to the ground, sliding back into that closed leg child's pose again. This can be a really nice counter for melting heart. And we'll stay here again for a little bit. Maybe this time you want to rock the forehead from side to side on the mat, getting into that third eye space. Noticing maybe how this child's pose feels different from the first one. And letting yourself soften. And take one last breath here. And start to slowly roll back up. Bring those legs out in front of you one more time. And if you have blocks, we're going to grab them here. If you don't, it's all good. And we're going to come into a supported fish pose. So you can have the blocks at any height that you like, but maybe start with the first block about 2/3 the way up the mat, kind of on its lowest height, and then placing the other block the at the mid height at the top of the mat. Sit in front of those blocks and then start to Slide back down so that upper mid back is on the first block, and then the head is resting on the top block. If you don't have blocks, you can just come down onto your back, and then everyone will bring the soles of our feet together for supported fish or reclining butterfly option. If it feels better, you can always stretch those legs out long instead. But we've been doing a lot of folding forward, kind of going inward in this class, and just wanted to end with more of a heart-opening pose. Just as a reminder not to close your heart off. And to really feel everything that you're feeling, and to know that it's okay. I'm really trying to send the breath into that heart space, giving yourself some love. And taking one last breath here. If you're in that supported fish, beginning to press back up onto the forearms, then onto the hands, removing those blocks to the side, and then coming all the way down onto our backs. Maybe hug the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. From here, take any final poses or movement you need to feel complete in your practice. And then whenever you're ready, stretch those legs out long. Let the arms drape out to the sides. And just rest here in your final resting pose, Shavasana. And if you have time, I encourage you to stay in the Shavasana for as long as you like or need. If you have to go, we'll close class here on our backs with one final breath. So you can exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose, and then a big sigh out the mouth. I hope this helped you feel better in some way. If you're going through it, I am sending you love. It'll get better in time. And if you like to see more yin yoga classes like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.